Keir Starmer is once again insulting the intelligence of the British people. His latest claim that the reason millions of young military-aged Muslim men are making their way into the UK is because of climate change. We'll dive into this story in today's video, but before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Right now, only 12% of viewers are subscribed, so join the community and help us grow. Let's be honest, nobody believes that. These men have passed through safe countries, they've bypassed over 50 Muslim-majority nations, and they still end up here. Are we really supposed to believe that climate change magically stops at the English Channel? Starmer will spout any nonsense he can to distract from the truth. Britain's borders are weak, and our leadership is weaker still. The reality is simple, this influx has nothing to do with the weather and everything to do with the fact that Britain is seen as a soft touch. Starmer refuses to confront the real issue, mass illegal immigration, because that would mean admitting his government has failed at the most basic responsibility, protecting its people and its sovereignty. Instead, he hides behind buzzwords like climate change, as if the British public can't see through it. It's not about safety, it's not about shelter, it's about open borders and a leader too weak to close them. The Prime Minister can keep spinning fairy tales, but the public knows better. We know what's really happening, and it certainly has nothing to do with climate change. It has everything to do with failed leadership, broken borders, and a government more interested in excuses than solutions. Have a listen to Keir.
I think we need to look at every aspect of illegal migration. Upstream, looking at the causes, which of course are often poverty, climate change, persecution. Look at the causes.
At the end of the day, Keir Starmer is making a fool of himself. And worse, he's treating the British public like fools too. To stand there and claim that climate change is the reason why waves of military-aged men are pouring across our borders is insulting. It's nonsense, and he knows it. This isn't about weather patterns, it's about weak leadership and wide open borders. Starmer doesn't have the courage to face the real problem, so instead he dresses it up with empty slogans and expects us to nod along like idiots. Well, we're not buying it. The British people deserve the truth, not fairy tales. And until this government gets serious about securing our borders, no amount of climate change excuses will cover up their failure. In other news, watch the moment London Conservatives leader Susan Hall furiously hits out at Yvette Cooper after she branded Reform UK plastic patriots. The Foreign Secretary said Britons had a choice between Labour and the right wing in a pointed criticism of Nigel Farage's party. She took issue with Reform's foreign policy and warned Labour will be fighting a chaotic right-wing ideology at the next election. Mrs. Hall responded recently, "The term racist is ignored because it is used so much by Labour. Sadiq Khan constantly referred to me as far-right and racist. It's just something you recoiled from, and it was his way of putting you back in a box." Yvette Cooper also spoke about plastic patriots. How dare she? How dare she speak to those on the right that are proud of our flag like that? They're an utter disgrace, Martin Daubeny said. He was struck by comments made by Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, who spoke about the rise of ethno-nationalism in Britain. He said, "She spoke about a new progressive patriotism as the only acceptable form of patriotism, where we all unite under the flag and put aside differences." What struck me was the policies of Nigel Farage, the policies increasingly of the Conservative Party to detain, deport, for people to speak useful English, and not allow them to have criminal records, are now Labour policies. Mrs. Hall sarcastically commented, "It's not racist if it's done by the left. They like to think they're nice and kind, while the right are anything but." The British people have woken up to this. They can see it's a load of nonsense. How long they will put up with it, I don't know. If you look at the Labour conference, they have spent the whole time talking about other parties, particularly Reform. Tell us what you stand for, Sir Keir Starmer. I watch the news all the time, but I don't know what Labour stands for. They should tell us what they're going to do, rather than have a constant go at the Conservatives and Reform. Ms. Cooper argued that Reform only wraps itself in the flag without offering real solutions for the country. In her remarks, she said patriotism is about strengthening communities, not stoking division. Ms. Cooper accused Reform of exploiting fears rather than addressing them. She contrasted their approach with Labour's, which she said is grounded in fairness and responsibility. According to Ms. Cooper, Reform's brand of politics is shallow and opportunistic. She insisted that true patriotism comes through service, duty, and action. Her comments drew strong applause from Labour delegates, underscoring the party's determination to challenge Reform head-on. A benefits fraudster has been jailed after he hijacked 68 identities and fraudulently claimed almost £170,000 to fund his gambling habits. James Stephen Barley used personal information which he had harvested on social media to submit 157 fake claims over 2.5 years, Carlisle Crown Court was told. The 37-year-old admitted 3 charges at an earlier hearing: fraud by false representation, making articles for fraud, and possessing criminal property. The articles were the documents which he used in his fraudulent claims, and the criminal property refers to the £169,045 in emergency universal credit payments which he secured from December 2018 to March 2021. When approached by investigators from the Department of Work and Pensions, DWP, Barley said, "Whatever you think I've done, I admit it." He cooperated with the investigation, telling the authorities how he exploited the benefit system in order to receive emergency payments. The court heard that he did this by generating 68 hijacked identities. When questioned on how he got around not knowing the national insurance numbers of the people whose identities he stole, he claimed, "I could talk my way out of a plastic bag." The investigation first began after one person, who he was posing as, complained to the DWP about a change to his benefit status. As a result, Barley was arrested on February 8th last year. The court heard how he used his local library to print off fraudulent documents to support his claims, including fake tenancy agreements. The people whose identities he stole included former friends from school, people from his local area, and even a family member. Barley, a £700 a week steel galvanizer, was unrepresented in court and addressed the judge from the dock himself. He claimed there were 2 sides to him. One was a hard-working man who earned an honest living, and the other a gambling addict. Saying he was sorry for what he had done, the 37-year-old told the court his primary concern was looking after his 2 pet boxer dogs at his home in Ladyburn Street, Paisley, Renfrewshire. He told Judge Michael Fanning, "I have a severe gambling addiction. It's ruined my life. I need closure from this. I can't sleep. I can't think straight. My head is an absolute car crash. This has to come off my back today so that I can start my life again. I have a good job, 2 dogs I adore, and I want to start my life again." He added, "Whatever punishment is coming my way, I'll take it. What I've done is wrong and I hate myself for it. Addiction is a killer. I lost everything. The people I defrauded, a lot of them were very good friends, even my brother." Judge Fanning accepted that Barley had acted out of a need to feed a desperate addiction and noted his previous good character. He also described the method used as unbelievably simple, as Barley only had to give the DWP a name, a date of birth, and a previous address. Barley was jailed for 2.5 years, and Judge Fanning added that there was never any potential for a suspended sentence, and there needed to be some form of deterrent. He said, "The financial system of this country relies on people being honest. Barley is likely to be released after serving just 40% of his sentence." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.